Hello students, welcome to AIMS India online classes. This is a chemistry session. Here we are discussing about the chapter changes around us. In the earlier sessions we have seen what are different changes, how they are segregated based upon certain characteristics. Now in this session we are going to continue to learn about the classification of changes based upon their characteristics. So now let us see the classification of changes based upon time interval. The cyclic repetition of changes after fixed interval of time decides whether a change is periodic or non-periodic change. Okay, the repetition of changes after fixed intervals of time decides the change whether it is a periodic change or non-periodic change. So based upon the time interval, we can say changes are classified into two types. They are periodic changes and non-periodic changes. First let us go through the periodic changes. These changes occur in a periodic manner. That is, they get repeated after a certain interval of time. They will be repeated at a certain intervals of time continuously. Those changes are called periodic changes. The changes which are repeated at regular intervals of time are called as periodic changes. For example, changes in the position of a simple pendulum when it is vibrating. It changes its position at fixed intervals of time, isn't it? So that comes under one of the periodic changes. There are also these are also called as cyclic changes. Means the change will be in the cyclic position in the fixed intervals of time. One more example, you can say seasons repeat themselves each year, hence they are called periodic changes. Okay, because seasons also will be changed at a particular interval of time in a year. So these are called periodic changes. Some other examples let us see here for periodic changes. Day and night are periodic changes as they repeat after every 24 hours in a particular day, isn't it? Day and night, they will change at fixed intervals of time. So we can say these days and nights are periodic changes. Beating of heart is an example of periodic change. Yes, it also beats at regular intervals of time. So it comes under a periodic change. And certain species of flowers open at sunrise and closes at sunset. So that also occurs at regular intervals of time. When it is sunrises, they open, and when sunsets, they close. So that also you can say as one of the examples for periodic changes. And one more example, changes in the phases of moon. It also occurs at regular intervals of time. For every 15 days, the moon will be changed. First it will be completely shaped in the round shape. Slowly its size will be reduced. After 15 days, moon will be completely vanished. Again it starts coming slowly again. After 15 days, it will be completely appeared in the sky. So it also occurring at regular intervals of time. So we can say this is also one of the examples for periodic changes. Next, another classification based upon the time intervals is non-periodic changes. These are the changes that may occur at any time and show no periodicity. So they don't show any periodicity and they may occur at any time. Such kind of changes are called non-periodic changes. Let us see here some examples for the non-periodic changes which occur at no intervals of time, no regulations. They may occur at any time. One of them is freezing of water to form ice. It may be happened at any time. It won't be repeated at regular intervals, isn't it? When you keep water at cool places, that freezes, but it won't happen regularly. It won't be repeated at regular intervals of time. So we can say as it is one of the examples for non-periodic change. One more, natural disasters like cyclones, volcanic eruptions, tsunami. These all are the changes which occur unexpectedly. They are disasters. They won't be happened at regular intervals of time. They won't be happened at a fixed time also. They may occur at any time. That's why these are all natural disasters like cyclones, volcanic eruptions, tsunamis, earthquakes. These all we can say as non-periodic changes. Next, burning of fossil fuels. Fossil fuels means by the decomposition of dead vegetation and these fuels are produced in the earth crust. Such fuels are called fossil fuels. For example, coal, oil, natural gas. These all are called as the fossil fuels because these are formed by the decomposition of the dead vegetation which is buried under the layers of the earth. So these we are using as a fuels for our different purposes, isn't it? Yes. So when you burn these fossil fuels, what they produce heat and light along with carbon dioxide and water vapor as the products. This burning also may happen at any time. When you start burning, they occur, but it won't be happen at regular intervals of time. It may occur at any time. So we can say this also as one of the non-periodic changes. It won't be happened at regular intervals of time. It may be happened at any time. So this is called non-periodic change. One more example, melting of glaciers. Yes, in the polar regions, water is in the form of solid ice because of very cool temperature there. But sometimes these ice in the glaciers melts and converts into liquid water. This also will not happen at regular intervals. It also may happen at any time without any prior notice, without any no priority, isn't it? So this also will be coming under non-periodic change. So those changes which are occurring at any time without any no priority, without priority, they are called non-periodic changes. Now let us see the classification of changes based upon the composition, means that the type of molecules present in the substances. They are classified into two types. The changes are classified into two types based upon the composition of the substances involved in the change. The changes are classified into physical and chemical changes. First let us say about physical changes. The physical changes are temporary changes. In this, no new substances are formed and these physical changes can be reversed, means the product obtained will be converted back into the original substance taken, and these changes may be in the physical changes, the change may be in the shape, size or something else etc. Okay, those changes are called as physical changes. So physical changes are temporary changes, and in these changes particularly there is no formation of any new substance, only there will be change in the shape and the size etc. Like these physical quantities only they will be changed, but there will be no change in the molecular formation. No new substance will be formed in the physical changes, and hence these physical changes can be called as temporary changes because these changes can be reversed. By changing the conditions, the substances formed will be reconverted to form original substances taken there. Hence they are reversible changes also we can say. Okay, the changes in which there is no formation of any new substance are called as physical changes. It may be a change involving change in state. For example, liquid water on evaporation changes to steam, which when cooled again it changes to liquid water, isn't it? So what happens in this, liquid converting into steam on heating, again the same heat steam converts back into original liquid form by cooling. Even after converting into steam or converting back into liquid water, there is no change in the molecular composition. Then the steam form or in the liquid form, the molecular composition will be same. Such kind of changes in which there is no formation of any new substance, there is only change in physical properties like shape and size are called as physical changes. See here some physical changes we can see: melting of ice, boiling of water, chopping of wood into pieces, shredding means tearing of paper into small pieces. In this all there is no formation of any new substance. Hence these are called physical changes. Now let us see characteristics of a physical change. Any change in the physical properties of a substance will result in a physical change. Only physical properties will be changed in the physical change. To bring about a physical change, some external force or energy has to be applied, like heating, like this. The molecules of the substance remain same after and before the change. That means there will be no change in the molecular composition. Molecules won't be changed before and after the reaction. They will be same. Only change will be there in the physical properties like shape and size, etc. But there is no change in the chemical composition. Such changes only called as physical changes. Now let us see some examples for the physical changes. If we say on kicking a football, often we will be playing in the football, isn't it? If you kick a football, what happens? It changes its position, but no new substance is formed. The molecule that make up the football remains the same. It won't change any chemical composition by kicking it. What happens? Just it changes its position from one place to another place. That's it. But there is no change in its chemical composition. Molecules that making of that football are remaining same. So we can say it as a physical change. Okay. Next, on tearing a paper, it changes into small pieces. Means it's a changes its a shape and size, but it remains paper still, because there is no formation of any new substance. Just that paper becoming small pieces. No new molecules are formed. The chemical composition of the paper with which it is made is being remained same. Only the shape and size is being changed, and hence the tearing of paper is said to be a physical change. And one more, if you crush sugar cubes into small particles, these small particles still remain sweet, as there is no change in its molecular composition, isn't it? If you taste this sugar cube, it will be sweet. If you crush it into small powder, small pieces, if you taste these small pieces of sugar, they also will be sweet enough, just like the sugar cube, isn't it? So just by changing its shape, there is no change in its chemical composition. In this sugar cube, there are sugar molecules. In this sugar powder also, there are sugar molecules only. No change in the chemical molecular formation. So this comes under physical change. One more example we can see. So these all are physical changes in which there is no formation of any new substance. Only change is there in the physical properties like size, shape, these all. Okay, these are called physical changes. Now let us see about chemical changes. It is a permanent change and it cannot be reversed easily. Means these chemical changes are generally irreversible changes. In it, a new substance is formed. So this is the difference mainly between the physical and chemical changes. There will be a formation of new substance in the chemical changes. A new substance is formed and the original substance cannot be easily formed from the new substance formed here. So by changing the conditions, the substances taken will be converted into new substances, and from those new substances formed, we cannot get back the original substance taken in the easy manner. Such kind of changes in which new substances are being formed are called as chemical changes. See here some examples are shown. Combustion. Combustion means burning of fuels like wood, this all. See here, wood logs are burnt. After some time, if we observe, there it remains with certain ash and coal, smoke, this all will be remained. From this all, we cannot get back the wood logs which we have taken at the starting, isn't it? So it is an irreversible change, and finally new substances are formed. From those new substances, we cannot get back the original substance taken. Such changes are called chemical changes. Okay, and if you see here rusting, if we keep an iron article in the atmospheric air which is exposed to air for few days, after few days if we observe, there will be a brown color layer on that iron object that we call as rust. So this rust cannot be converted back into iron, just it can be removed, that's all, but we cannot convert this rust formed once into original iron there. So there, that rust is new chemical substance which is formed from iron. So as there is the formation of a new substance, this comes under chemical change. Okay, and digestion of food also. The food which we have taken in our stomach slowly converts into energy and other forms. So from those we cannot get back the food which we have taken, isn't it? New chemical substances are being formed. So it is a chemical change. In the similar way, photosynthesis also. What is photosynthesis? This is a process by which plants they prepare their food in their own. By absorbing carbon dioxide and water, they prepare their food in the leaves in the presence of sunlight. So there, the food prepared by these plants cannot be converted back into carbon dioxide and water in the reverse way. Will be done? No. So such changes in which there is formation of a new substance and that a new substance formed cannot be reversed to form original substances taken are called chemical changes. Okay. Now let us see the characteristics of these chemical changes. In chemical changes, the molecules of original substances undergo changes to form molecules of a new substance. Okay, in all the chemical changes, new substances are being formed from the substances which we have taken. A chemical change occurs when there is chemical reaction between the substances. So there occur certain chemical reactions in the chemical change so that new substances are formed. And here in these chemical changes, the original substances which we are taking at the starting are called as reactants, and these substances convert into another form to form new substances. Those new substances formed in the chemical change are called as products. Okay, a chemical change involves chemical reaction between the substances and hence they convert into new forms. New chemical substances are being formed. In these chemical changes, the substances taken at the starting or the original substances taken are called as reactants, and the substances formed finally are called as products. Okay. Now the chemical changes are always accompanied by some external indications such as production of heat or light, precipitation, change in color or appearance, etc. So these indications will be given when a chemical reaction is done. In some chemical changes, heat will be produced, so that you can understand it occurs some chemical change. And in some chemical changes, light is released out, light is produced. In some chemical changes, initial taken substances will be reacted and form certain insoluble solid substances which we call as precipitates. Those reactions are called precipitation reactions. And in some chemical reactions, there will be a formation of new color and they appear differently. So by these all indications, we can understand as a chemical reaction is done between the chemical substances taken. Okay. Now let us see some examples for these chemical changes. Burning of a paper. When you burn a paper, it gives smoke and gases like water vapor and carbon dioxide, isn't it? The ash left behind is different from the paper in its properties. So initially we will be taking paper. It has certain chemical properties. After burning, it is remaining with ash, and it is converted into heat and smoke, isn't it? Smoke gases are released out along with carbon dioxide and water vapor. Finally, ash will be remained there. The chemical properties of this ash formed will be different from that of paper taken. So we can say a chemical change is happened. See, we can see easily the change between the initial substance taken paper and the final product ash. It will be black in color, its shape will be changed, it cannot be reversed back to get paper. So this all indicates a chemical change happened here. Okay. Next one more example. One of the best examples of day-to-day life chemical changes is the process of photosynthesis. What happens in photosynthesis? This is a process by which plants synthesize their food and release oxygen gas as a byproduct. Isn't it? What's happening here? They take carbon dioxide from the atmospheric air through their leaves, and they take water through their roots from the soil. So these two will be reacted in their plants in the presence of sunlight. They prepare their food in the form of carbohydrates. So initially taken chemical substances are carbon dioxide and water. These two are mixed together to form a new product in the form of food, which is called carbohydrates. Means new substances are formed, and one more substance formed is oxygen in this reaction. So chemical substances changed into another substance, hence it is said to be a chemical change. Okay. And one more example for chemical changes is the process of rusting. It is also one of the examples for chemical changes. When iron particles like iron nails and dissolve, when they expose it to atmospheric air in the presence of moisture, they get coated with a brown layer, which is called as rust. This rust is formed because iron slowly reacts with the atmospheric oxygen in the presence of moisture and forms iron oxide. It will be in the brown color. So this iron oxide is commonly called as rust. So the formation of rust is a chemical change because rust is having new chemical composition, whereas iron is having different. The new substance is being formed, so it is called a chemical change. One more, the most common example for chemical changes is cooking. Cooking is also one of the example for chemical changes. For example, when we boil an egg, what happens? It becomes hard and it tastes entirely different from the raw egg. The molecules of egg changes to give a new substance. In the same way, cooking of rice, vegetables, etc. are also examples for chemical changes, because once they are cooked, we cannot get back the raw items again, and their chemical composition also will be changed. That is why these are called chemical changes. One more, cutting of wood is a physical change, as in this no new substance is formed. Molecules of the wood remain the same, isn't it? Even though if we cut a log of wood into 2 pieces or 3 pieces, small pieces, there is no change in its composition, just size is being varied, isn't it? That is why cutting of wood is a physical change, while the burning of wood results in the formation of certain gases, and ash is formed that has different properties than wood. Hence, burning of wood is a chemical change. So both are different here. Cutting of wood is a physical change because there just we are making them into small pieces. Even though they are made into small pieces, their composition is not at all changed. Chemical composition is being same, only the size is being changed. But in the case of burning of wood, after burning, wood won't be remained in the same form. It changes into different forms. Its chemical composition changes. Ash and other components will be remained back, and hence the burning of wood is called chemical change. Cutting of wood is called as physical change. Okay, that is about chemical and physical changes. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our YouTube channel AIMS Today and visit our website aimstoday.in for latest updates on recorded videos.